Alright, a little bit of fun between the players, but time to get down to business. Is in the top left corner of the map. We are going to start things off with the red Protoss player from Maturino, Astrea.
And his opponent down here in the bottom right. We're looking inside of the main base of FoxeR.
Drops the GLHF versus the GLGL. Okay, Loco, give us some analysis on the openings.
Yeah, no have fun allowed right there by Mr. Astrea, which I know a lot of people think immediately. I know when somebody does something that's not entirely the ordinary, like a GLHF, I've had this discussion with my chat many times, that ultimately means they must be cheesing. What do you think of this theory, Wardy?
Yeah, guaranteed.
Anything that's not a GLHF must mean that it's cheese. Well, turns out FoxeR is the one with the GLHF, but then he's the one also sneaking the SCV.
The meta game. Too smart. Second Rax as well. So one Rax at home looks normal, just like the GLHF, and then he actually proxies. It's goes so deep.
I don't think Astrea's looking into it too much. I don't think he's looking into the GLHF. You can't really scout a lot from your opponent there.
No, not really. I guess not. All right, Pro coming around, and like I say, he's going to look at this and say fairly normal. Right now, folks, I should be getting ready to drop an expansion down. That's when Astrea is going to pick up on the fact like, hey, this isn't quite right. So what are you actually doing here? And in part, I wonder if that's why the Marine is in production, because the Marine can obviously push back. Wow, we do afford the command center still.
He canceled the Marine. Okay, he just restarted it once again.
Okay.
What are we...
No, because he wants to afford the expansion. He put the expansion down at the normal timing, and I did a double take, because I was like, what? But he canceled the Marine, he canceled the Orbital. So he's made this look perfectly normal. To Astrea, there is no reason why you would think there's a proxy Rax on the map. And yet now we're going to build Marauders
and actually brilliant.
That's actually incredible.
So what Astrea scouted... Yeah, what Astrea scouted looks like a completely normal opener. The orbital command in the main base, but the cancel of the orbital command is actually an insane decision right there. He does have the expansion. I almost wonder if you should have an orbital command here rather than the expansion, because this will have to deal damage, but that is actually super clever right here by FoxeR, making this look like it's a normal macro start.
Yeah, Astrea has...
He's looking for a Reaper right now. Like he's wondering where the Reaper's at.
No, I think yeah, because obviously the Marine canceling as well could just be a Reaper building as well. So yeah, wow, this is actually bonkers. What a build order! I'm actually amazed how good the timing was. Like the CC went down perfectly on time. Like I actually stopped because I was like, did I imagine the second Rax? Like, am I just talking, am I just talking crap?
No.
But. Yeah, it was beautiful. The Adept comes in, two Marines will fight. Obviously, the Marauder on the other side. They are going to catch one of the Adepts, so now Astrea realizes what's going on. Immediately builds a Void Ray out the Stargate, but no battery ready. He's going to take some probe damage at the very least.
Yeah, that Void Ray is going to be amazing, but it's going to be a while until it's out. It's one of those units that takes surprisingly long time at this point in the game to build, so those probes are in a world of trouble. There is a command center on the low ground here, of course, as well for FoxeR. Marines are joining in too. Bunker is building on the low ground. Getting one Marine would actually be kind of nice, but a Marine, of course, for an Adept is not what you're looking for.
Yeah, although, I mean, I guess now the Void Ray pops and there's nothing to really answer the Void Ray at all. These Marauders are, suicided into the main. Just go for as many probes as you can. There's no reason backing off here, I don't think. You might save one then. Obviously, you need something in this bunker that can help fight off the Void Ray, otherwise the bunker is just going to die as well. There are the Marines coming. The Marauder jumps out. He knows his time is done. The Marines get in. And now this Natural will continue to take some damage, but second Void Ray coming up. It does feel like the Void Rays are just such a good answer to this.
Yeah, what if this would have been a Twilight Council opener, right? That's what I'm wondering about here, because that's something that Astrea will never be shying away from either. That would have been an entirely different game. Very clever little opener right here from FoxeR, though. Making it look like he's playing a standard start, but ultimately catching his opponent off guard with a second barracks. A pretty expensive structure at this point in the game, too. Astrea is going to be able to shut this down now with relative ease, but... if it would have been something other than the Stargate opener, or maybe even an Oracle first, there's a good chance that this would have dealt a tremendous amount of damage.
Yeah, very, very cool stuff. Unfortunately, now these Void Rays are going to continue to control. We are going to maybe lose one as it gets a little bit too into that Marine fight. Just about pulls away, hurt but not gone, as it gets pushed back.
It's a very smart build, but I still have a hard time grasping when this would work. Like, it's still so tricky. There are so many scenarios, right, that can happen in the early game, and it's not like Stargate builds are uncommon by any stretch, but even against, like, nice micro there by Astrea, by the way, but even against the Twilight Council opener, would this really have been that great? I don't know.
Probably not, but, like, it was still cool.
Yeah. Sometimes 200 IQ build orders are more like 20 IQ build orders. I'm not sure, though. It's a little hard to say here, but that was really clever from FoxeR.
You're kind of relying on the script from your opponent a little bit, perhaps, but maybe that's what FoxeR needs to bank on to beat Astrea in the first place, right? So, yeah, in this case, it probably was one of the worst-case scenarios, and maybe it wouldn't have been the best against the Twilight, but then maybe Astrea does get caught off guard. Maybe Astrea does make the mistake that opens the door to those Marauders and everything dealing damage. This obviously is not looking as though it's going to be enough, as our Marines will continue to get shot down. The Void Rays will just about escape, but there's more Marines too, and now 3 actually. The Lloyds will go down. Unfortunately for FoxeR, he's down half the work account of Astrea.
Yeah, that's not ideal. There's already a robo facility done and a robo bay coming up right now. Another Void Ray here. It's kind of funny how Void Rays used to be a very cheesy unit, but now they're an anti-cheese unit. Okay, FoxeR has decided, you know what? It is time for me to go all in. I just grabbed a bunch of my opponent's Void Rays. Right now is my time to shine. And, well, I think this is going to be his best shot in this game. I mean, does he have enough units? I don't think so, but maybe.
Let's find out. I mean, the Immortal's big. The couple of batteries defensively are good for Astrea. Marines are going to stim in. Feels like there's no damage here for FoxeR at all. A couple force fields. Super battery is going to make this one side. The probes obviously can just get in front to tank a little bit as well. And I think this is going to be absolutely fine from Astrea. When he was already double the work account, he can afford to lose so many probes, especially when he's already killed 19, 20 SCVs. There's going to be a whole GG well played, says FoxeR. He had the smarts, but the build just wasn't quite there in the end.
Very cool style, though. I think even Astrea did a bit of a double take there because he saw everything being pretty normal, and then his second adept was met by a bunch of Marauders. You're like, wait a second, what just happened in this game? How did I just completely miss that? Because obviously you don't have infinite amounts of resources here, but okay, well, cheeky game number 1 right there. FoxeR said he wouldn't dare, is what he said in the in-game lobby. He wouldn't dare go for a cheesy build. Okay, maybe. Well, turns out that was a lie.
Well, yeah, but maybe he said I wouldn't dare do like a good cheesy build, and that's why we think he'd lose to him.
Aha, right, fair.
Astrea's going to take a moment, restart his PC. He's getting some FPS issues. So a couple moments, longer than usual between games here, but obviously we are here in the ESL America Regionals. Excited for the second season of this year to be kicking off today. Again, Asia kicks off tomorrow, so our other 16-player region beginning tomorrow. That's going to be a whole bunch of fun. Make sure you drop by and tune in for that. We're very much so looking forward to it. And yeah, it's going to be fun, man. Exciting time.
Literally weeks of StarCraft. Literally weeks. So.
I actually kind of like what they did, man. They had 3 weeks of StarCraft. They were like, no, you know what? That's not enough. 4 weeks of StarCraft, and we'll just scrap Tuesdays. I was like, okay, just scrap Tuesdays then. Ooh. You get rid of Tuesdays and suddenly you get an extra week of StarCraft? That's some that's some black magic.
That's math.
That's
math. You get rid of 3 Tuesdays and suddenly you get an extra week. Yeah. That's how it works.
Yeah, it's bonkers. But it does, for the viewers, of course, mean you guys get more action on weekends over the course of these few weeks. So obviously that's pretty great. Should make it a little bit better to watch, and also a little bit less intense as well, because a lot of people probably feel like, oh my god, 5 days straight of ESL when it's like 12-hour days. It'd be kind of rough, right? Like, even watching. So I feel like some people will be like, you know, I like this a little bit more, a little bit chilled out, 4 days a week at most or so. Well, I guess this week's 5 days a week still, but, you know. No 6-day weeks. No 6-day weeks, okay? No 6-day weeks.
Absolutely. Alrighty, so we'll be jumping into game number 2 between FoxeR and Astrea here momentarily as soon as Astrea is back online. Apparently, he was having some FPS issues, so maybe we can write up the Void Ray losses, you know, when the 3 Void Rays get stimped underneath. Maybe we can write that mistake up too. Imagine if he would have 3 Void Rays as well. But imagine with that all in with the SCV pool, he would have also had 3 Void Rays on top of it. Like, it was already not close. That would have been interesting.
Crazy, madness, wild, so many things. And so we are going to get ourselves, like you said, just a couple moments, straight will restart. We'll be back into it. Now we got fun matches coming up as well, of course, here in the Americas region. Like I said, A little bit earlier on, we have ourselves, yeah, just a bunch of fun players. Actually, ZVZ, first one of the entire tournament coming up next with Eggs and Cham. That can actually get kind of wild. Eggs can be pretty cheeky. Cham, pretty cheeky player himself. And again, really fun set of PvTs to end the day, I think. Dolan, you know, a fun player, up and coming. Trigger's been really cementing himself up at the top of the NA scene. And then you got Future Nina, which I feel like is, you know, a Future that's been looking better than ever. And Nina, who's maybe not played as much herself recently. That's also kind of a fun one out to end the day on. So a fun schedule ahead of us to continue through the Americas regions as soon as Astrea joins us back online.
It's going to be an interesting one. I think Future versus Nina to close the day out is going to be a lot of fun, yeah. We'll be doing these all back to back to back to back, as we have been for like the last, I don't know how many series we've casted at this point, but we've had a good day. All right, there you go. We've had a good day of StarCraft 2 so far. Really good to see so many people coming out as well to watch. All right, Astrea is back online, guys. We'll be getting the game underway here very shortly.
Very shortly. We'll come back to our beautiful faces for a few more moments just before Astrea joins the lobby and we can go. And
I feel like I'm much bigger on the camera than you, Wardy. Is that good or bad? Oh, wrong way. Sorry,
I can zoom in if you want. Like, it's because my...
No. I'll zoom all the way out, and you can be all the way zoomed in for a while.
Okay,
you can see my cursed green screen that I should have repainted 5 years ago.
I was going to say, you've actually not used that in so long. It's still just a green
I am
wall.
intending on repainting that wall at some point in the future, but the future hasn't come yet.
No, future's in the last match of the day, so I'll just have
well,
to
there you
wait
go. Maybe then. If I suddenly start painting, you know what's going on.
All right. Yeah, no, I did zoom in to be more level with you at one point, but then my camera crashed, so then I came back and I could have zoomed out.
Oh, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Right. So I felt like we weren't like completely mismatched earlier, but it's okay.
And then I was like, I don't really want to like super lean forward and do the zoom halfway through a segment. That was like, then I forgot, honestly. So
it is all good.
Back on track now, as we're also back on track with the games in the bottom left, taking that 1-0 lead with the Void away anti-cheese. It is going to be Astrea.
Absolutely, and we're going to have to keep a close eye on the opponent here with some creative build orders in game number 1. We're looking inside of the main base of FoxeR. Identical GLHFs, Wardy.
Well, it's almost like these guys just have a preferred way of typing out GLHF at the start of the game.
I think it's part of their build order.
Part of their build order, yeah.
Absolutely,
it's just ingrained. I mean, I'm the same. I like typing just GL space HF. Like, I would do that every time.
Yeah.
No alterations.
Absolutely.
No switch up.
Absolutely. No commas.
Oh no, I hate the commas. The commas so dumb.
Remember when Stefano always did that? Stefano would always
GL,
comma, HF, and then capitalize the opponent's nickname properly too.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we get it. Yes,
not even always their nickname. Sometimes you use their real name too.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're basically best friends.
What a try-hard of an intro.
Yeah.
God. Give it up already, Stefano. Probably coming up, nibbling at an SCV for a few moments. As we do have the barracks, obviously, much more normal, with no proxy racks out on the map or anything this time around. So everything's sort of just settling down here. Starting to look a bit regular again. For the next little while, yeah, we wait to see really where we just go. Nexus and the Cybercore on the way up.
We've seen this thousands of times, but now we're trying to pay close attention if everything's all right here. Okay. Nothing all too crazy, but Astrea is also not entirely sold on this game. He decides to go back in just to make sure.
Yep. I'm just going to double check. I mean, you got to double check, right, with the way the previous game went. This time around, the CC, obviously, it even feels a little bit late, right? It went down like 150. It's like 6 seconds late. Now I'd be questioning things as Astrea. I'm like, why is it so late? It's not really that late, right? But just, you know, little things.
Yeah.
Maybe throw you off your game sometimes.
Turns out nothing all too crazy. FoxeR once again, though, with an SCV on the right side of the map. Sending it out after the probe has left his natural expansion alone as well. So he is once again ready to do something a little sneaky here. That is for certain.
He's doing the Clem build. Proxy starport here, you Hellion drop. Clem was the first person I saw doing this. It's very smart because who's going to scout the other side of the map that's mineral walled for a proxy, right? Well, like I said, it's becoming a very common thing to do, so yeah, maybe this is something Astrea will be checking with the Stargate unit when it first pops out, as the starport goes down. And obviously, you can get it very close to the main base, so it's very good for the Hellion drop. The Hellions can get over here easily as well with that mineral wall mined out. So, yeah, this is something which I feel like isn't, you know, an oh my god, never seen this before play, but it's obviously still pretty cool. And it's very strong because no matter what, you're still going to have a very fast Hellion drop in your opponent's main.
Absolutely. All right, here's the very first Adept on the other side of the map. Seeing the Hellions is already kind of nice. At the very least, the alarm bells start going off in your head a little bit. You're like, okay, that's could be something strange. I mean, it's going to come at the cost right here of the Adept, but that Hellion also, yeah, those two Hellions, they're definitely far forward, right?
Yeah, Adept actually, I mean, pushing them back is just going to buy you time right now. Things aren't going to line up as well. The Adept getting another shot off as the Hellion got stuck trying to get repaired.
He also hasn't started a medevac, by the way. He hasn't started up a medevac. Okay, it starts up right now, but that slows down the build order a lot.
This is just, I mean, this is just bad. Everything is delayed. The Oracle's going to maybe be able to grab some damage on the Hellions if they move across soon. And if it doesn't, then the Oracle can just go for the mineral line. There's going to be no anti-air in the game, so now it's super, super important for these Hellions to find damage on the other side. Fresh Mule goes down, the SCVs start to drop. These Hellions have such a task ahead of them.
Yeah, they basically have to make up for this and then some, right? Because this is very committed. That starport obviously also all the way across. Oracle is on top of this as soon as the medevac comes in. Boosted discipline has worn off, so they can just sort of empty underneath the Oracle and the Stalker if they really want to. Okay, you can pretend it's a Widowmine drop, but it's not.
Yeah, eventually we'll have to unload. The problem is 3 Hellions are the number for one-shotting probes, and with a Phoenix you can just lift one up immediately. In this case, the Hellions were never really left long enough. 5 workers. 5 workers would be okay, but again, you took damage yourself, so it's not really okay at all. In fact,
no,
this is pretty bad.
This is definitely not what you're looking for. It would have been okay if he had all of that, you know, that natural expansion taken care of, and he didn't really take a lot of damage at home. But right now, you find yourself behind against Astrea, and well, Astrea does not need to be told that twice. He's gonna start marching across the map. He'll probably build a third Nexus here on the back of it too. Robo facility coming up. I mean, everything is going Max Angel's way. There you go. That's a cool name, though.
Max Angel. One of the
if you gotta give a GLHF, you give it to Max Angel, and you type out his full name and a comma.
And the comma. Capitalized correctly as well. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, just double checking.
Maximum Angel.
We went into so much depth with everything else. I just wanted to make sure we're capitalizing it properly because this attack is going to be rough to stop. The only thing I'm thinking is, Phoenix can lift up the siege tank anyway, so you just lift the tank and then you kill the Viking, then the Oracles kill the Marine, so the Phoenix survives. SCVs are dying. Siege tank will get a few more shots off, but the Stalker's actually having a real bad time.
So. They got a little bit over-eager right there. They can't go through the supply depot, but they desperately tried. That's an additional 12 SCVs going down, though, and now we're talking just 30 workers right here for the Terran. Natural expansion has to be evacuated, and in the meantime, Astrea is finishing up his third. This is looking incredibly rough right now for FoxeR.
Looking incredibly rough. Yeah, no, this is bad as Stalkers make a dive forward. Widowmines did get a little bit going, but obviously these Stalkers can get the tanks this time around. I think second tank will go down as well. Stalkers were a bit better at shooting this time, and that is a job well done, as I think we are. I mean, FoxeR has no units. He's got a Marine or two, with Chachi killing Stalkers! 2 Stalker kills!
Yeah.
GG, well played.
GG.
Got there in the end.
They popped straight into the battle, man. They got